Hey, welcome back to the Successful Lead Generating Coaches Show. My name is Arfon from Go Automate Scale. And today I want to talk about something really important that's been coming up. I see a lot of people in Facebook groups, those who are new to my world. I get this question a lot, and it's like, do Facebook ads work for coaches? And it's obviously a great question. We obviously want to know before we invest into something, right? There's so much things that we can invest in when it comes to marketing, whether it's just content creation, VA to post our stuff up, or we are ourselves just very active on stories and reels and posting constantly and just working in DMs a lot. And one of the things is that we know those process works, right? There's very few people sometimes who question, hey, does organic work? But it's often where you get a lot more questions on does paid advertising work? And what's really interesting is that, out of the 7 plus, there's about 10 million actually advertisers on Meta, and there's 3 billion users. So out of those millions of businesses that are running ads, right? They're they're not donating money to to Facebook. And out of that 7 to 10 million, right? There's a few 100,000 that are coaches that are using the platforms, and we can see peers and competitors that are consistently running ads, and you can see it. You can see they have likes and comments, things like that, and they've been running ads for months or years and repeatedly over and over again. So, what is it that they know that you don't? And this is if you are saying that ads, you're wondering if Facebook ads work for coaches, or maybe you ran an ad before or a campaign and it didn't work for you, and you're really like, okay, does this even work? So the thing is, when I look at this sometimes and I look at some accounts, and I'm often baffled where someone's like, like, yeah, I'm just really not sure if Facebook ads work or not. And I look at their account and they may have spent $500, um, maybe ran two ads, no videos, a copy that they just put together, or they just boosted a bunch of posts. And I'm like, well, honestly, this is not really enough to tell you if you're going to get results or not, especially if there's no strategy behind them. Okay. And that's the one important thing, is that Facebook ads for coaches work when you have the right strategy behind them. And here's the thing. Facebook, what it does, the purpose is to help you with lead generation. It helps you to generate leads. And in that process, you're going to be able to nurture your leads. And when you're nurturing your leads, meaning that they come into your world, they get to know you, they get to know what your business is about. They have a clear understanding of how you serve them, of how you serve others, and they're also even able to see testimonial of others. Now, if you're super brand new, you don't have any clarity on that, you're not even sure what their pains, problems, fears, desires are, your ads are most likely going to fail. That market research is super important. The coaches I work with, they get the best results, are the ones that typically have been, they've done this. They've done this research. They've worked with clients. They really have listened. And when I say have listened, is that they're paying attention, they're in tune to what their ideal clients are doing and saying and how they're feeling. And when we incorporate this into our advertising campaign and you plan and you structure properly, here's for example, if you want to do a sales funnel where you're actually getting people to book a call with you, you can accomplish this rather easily. And one of the challenges is that the market gets pretty saturated with that. It was very saturated at the beginning. And so a lot of people now will book calls, and sometimes they won't show up, or, sometimes the coach doesn't even understand how to even get people to show up, and there's not a whole lot of qualifying thing. Well, here's the simple thing, is that you have an offer, an ebook or a guide or a workshop or something like that that's very clear into what is going to help the user do. Now, this guide, ebook, or workshop will help them solve a problem, whether they work with you or not. That's one of the key things. I've seen too many things that are just fluffy. What I mean by that is that they give a blanket this, that, or the other, but they actually don't even help the person to even either one, have a new belief, two, actually get to do something that shows that this process, the strategy you're doing works. And what ends up happening is now, like, that campaign doesn't work. It doesn't, you're not building that credibility and building that trust at a great level. One of my clients right now, we were running the same campaign for going on almost 24 months, and we've had to change the creative, but the funnel itself has consistently performed a break even within the first 7 days of running it. And then anything after that is just pure profit going into her business. And the way this works is a simple workshop. At the end of that workshop, they get what they were promised. They're able to create this thing that she's showing him, and it's a short 15-minute workshop. And at the end of the workshop, it sells them into a membership, and people are going in, they're signing up, and they're purchasing the membership because the workshop was very clear. It gave an exact result. And a lot of times coaches are hesitant. They're like, well, I don't want to give people what they would normally pay me to do. And I understand that. Of course, if you have a $5,000 group coaching program or a $5,000 one-on-one offer, we're not going to give all that away, but we do need to help our people in some way. We need to either give them a new thought, a new belief system, something that they can walk away with and be like, oh, you know what? When I came across Arfan, I actually was able to get results. He was very helpful. He cleared things up for me. He demystified the Facebook advertising process. Now, I'm building a lot of trust. And so when someone even gets on a call with me, they've already have this trust that what I'm going to do is going to help them. So when I'm on a call with them and now they're asking for continued services, it's easier to actually get that sale and to make that conversion. So that's just from my experience, from me and working with my clients. So, like for example, a book a call funnel, right? You give something that's extremely valuable. You can create a guide, you can create a workshop, you can create an ebook, you can create a PDF. I don't care what it is, as long as it actually solves a problem that your ideal client is facing right now. When they wake up, when they go to sleep, they're thinking about this. It's irking them. It's a pain. It's a challenge, and they want to get results. This is where you will see results in your advertising. You're going to see a lot more leads come in. Not only that, you're going to see a lot more qualified leads show up in your pipeline. And as they come into your world, they have to get nurtured. So a simple guide like that leads into now schedule a strategy call with emails. And it's maybe emails that go out over 14 to 18 days, something that really nurtures and builds that trust up. And you start seeing results. It's like, wait a minute. Now, when you put like $100 in total, that's most likely not going to be enough to get you enough leads, right? To see if something is working, you need a few hundred leads to go through the entire process. And that may seem like a lot, but here's a statistic. On average, only about 3% of the market at any given time is ready, willing, and able to purchase. The rest of them need more time, right? They need a longer buying cycle. And I've had clients who do launches and they're able to sell their $4, $5, $6,000 program right then and there. And there are people in that audience who don't purchase right then and there, but 3, 4 launches later, we see them purchase and we look at their tags on their email system, and they're tagged from a launch that was a year ago, or 3, 4 cycles before. They were interested, but they weren't ready, willing, and able in that moment for whatever reason. Finances, typically, it's often not always like finances. People will give you those common objections, right? Time, finances, will it work for me? What it really comes down to is that they need to really build that trust, not just with you, but sometimes with themselves. Meaning that they can trust you that you're going to do the job, but do they trust themselves that they're going to be able to execute? And I've had clients literally tell me that, like, I wasn't ready. I knew I wasn't going to be able to do a video. I wasn't going to be able to do a webinar. I wasn't going to be able to have my entire my funnel created because I was still learning the platform, or I just was, had too much going on. And I understand that because I've been there myself where I just have not been able to do something just because there's other stuff going on, and it doesn't have to do with time, money, or will it work for me, or if I trust that person. It has to do with my own ability to not be able to do it in that moment. But I come back around later on. And we have to understand that too. Like when we're doing advertising, we're playing a short game and we're playing a long game. The short game is we want to convert our folks right away. We want to maximize conversions. And I said that the statistics of, about 3% are ready, willing, able to buy. I'm speaking purely of high ticket. When you have a low ticket offer for $7, Yeah, you want to get more like 10-15%. That's a different situation. Even like $100, it's going to be a little different, a different conversion value because most people are already willing and able to buy at those values. But speaking of high ticket being over $1,000, over 2,000, over or like closer to $5,000, that's where you start seeing that there's only ever that small percentage of the audience that's ready, willing, and able to buy in that exact moment. Okay. So when you're looking and saying, hey, does Facebook ads work for coaches? Yes, Facebook ads work for coaches when you have the right strategy in place. And this is sometimes something that we have to think about. A lot of times before we even run a campaign for our client, we're spending hours, days, and weeks planning it out, meaning that we know exactly what the training topic is going to be, what, how the flow of the training is going to go, the exact date we're going to start to promote it, what's happening even before that date. If it's a brand new account, something needs to happen in the ad account to warm up the tracking pixel so it knows who to show your ads to. So it's not often you can have a brand new account start up and start running to a big launch. The Facebook limits your budget to be able to do that. I've had clients come in when they want to put $5,000 in a launch, brand new ad account. Like, sorry, we can't do that. We can't do that within 10 days, 14 days. Your account is capped at $25 a day right now. It takes like 3-4 days for that cap to move to $50. And then from $50 moves to 100. And before you know it, it's going to take that entire month for that cap to be removed. Now, if you try to go into a big launch and you're putting expectations that the ads are going to hold it up, it's not going to work. And a lot of times coaches come to that point, it's like, oh, it didn't work. Well, you got to get started somehow. In order to even get the cap off, you have to get started. And this is where a good strategy comes in place. So always look at it this way. Where's my user at right now? Okay, where are they at right now and where do I need them to be? And if in this exact moment their level of awareness and their knowledge and everything about what you help them with is not there, your advertising and the way you reach them has to also bridge that gap, help them to move from where they are to where you need them to be. And this is where those free things come into place because we can give a free training to just help somebody. I can give a free training. I have tons of video on my YouTube channel to teach you the basics of even how to set up an ad or how to even write copy or how to design graphics. Because when someone comes to work with me in my membership, I want you guys to be able to ready to start running ads so we can be able to tweak and test. And yes, we can give advice on the copy and advice on the graphics to make it improved. However, at the same time, those who come in are often at that point where they're also ready to run an ad. So not only learning about the ad, but they have knowledge of funnels, right? They can be able to build a funnel. So I put out content sometimes about the exact process of like what are the funnels that convert with advertising for coaches that I see. So when someone comes to me, they already like, oh, I actually created a webinar. I ran it organically for 2 or 3 times. I spent weeks and weeks and weeks promoting it, and I only had 10 people show up. I only had 15 people show up. I only had 2 people. No one showed up. And that's happened to me before. And when I first started, just promote everything organically and was hoping like, oh, I can just get maybe 10, 15 people and get some awesome results. And sometimes that doesn't happen. Webinars and master classes, those trainings work in such that when there's more audience in the room, you gain a bit of a bigger momentum on that training, and it helps a lot to get more conversion. So if you're thinking, you're wondering like, hey, how do I even make Facebook ads work for me? The process that involves that is to have a solid strategy and is to take your user, that new lead that who doesn't even know you, take them on a journey so that way not only are they signing up for something that's helpful for them, but they're also getting to know you, they're getting to like you, and they're getting to trust you. And that's going to break the walls down to where someone's going to be more willing and able to work with you now because they realize how you can help them. And that is the key. That is one of the crucial elements for making your Facebook ads work. Hey, if you found this talk today helpful, if you're liking the podcast, don't forget to leave us a review. And also don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, subscribe to your favorite podcast app so you can get updates on when we release new episodes. My goal is to always release new episodes every week, along with a video that goes up on YouTube. So if you're ever interested in learning more about ads and you want to see visually what the ads manager look like, how do you set up an ad or things like that, you can always subscribe to the YouTube channel too as well. With that being said, my name is Arfan. And lastly, before I end this today, if you need direct support and you're at that point where you're ready to start running ads and you want help, let's schedule a free call. Go to arfanhussein.com/start and you'll get a link to book a complimentary 30-minute call with me. Hell, I talk over myself there. So it's a free 30-minute call. I want to charge you for this little strategy session. So have a quick strategy session. We'll look at what you have going on, what your goals are, and I'll be able to get a better understanding of what kind of support will be best for you. All right, so schedule that call. It's totally free. And with that being said, I will catch you on the next episode. Have a great day.